Hi, good morning, and welcome to Mainline Network's Commissioner's Corner. I'm Haley Erdlen, a proud Radnor Township resident who currently lives in Ward 4. Mainline Network has recruited real residents such as myself living in each of Radnor Township's 7 wards to carry on important conversations, especially during these crazy, unprecedented times with the township decision makers who are voted into the position of managing our township. I'm really excited to be here this morning to interview and discuss important issues affecting all of us during these quarantine times with Ward 4's Commissioner Lisa Borowski. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for joining me.
Good morning, Haley. How are you?
I'm hanging in. I'm hiding in my home office and studio.
I know, it's crazy. I can't imagine having little kids right now. My guys are older, are doing their all their schoolwork, by Zoom and all of that. But I can't imagine trying to get little kids in this moment. God bless you.
I have to say, little kids, my kids are having the time of their lives right now. This is for me, every day is like Groundhog Day, but they are loving this. And one of my kids goes to Radnor Elementary, and I have to give a huge shout out to Kim Batchelor and our principal, Dr. Anthony Stevenson. They've done an incredible job, Radnor School District, of implementing online learning. So we're taking it day by day, and I'm really happy to be here with you and talk about how this is all impacting Radnor. So I think the first thing to delve into is, how is the stay-at-home order, impacting Radnor?
So, I'm going to join you in the kudos for the school district. I know that, I've heard a lot from constituents about how well the district was able to transition this in a very short amount of time. So,
really, I have seamlessly. Yeah.
Yeah. I have the school district's near and dear to my heart. So I am glad to hear that things are going well, and congratulate certainly Ken and their leadership, all the leadership across the district for doing that. For the township. So again, kudos and shout out to the leadership team that we have at the township. I think everybody knows, or hopefully everyone knows, that we appointed Bill White as our new township manager at our meeting 2 weeks ago. It was a unanimous decision by the Board of Commissioners. Initially, when we made Bill the interim back in January, we talked about doing a search and all of that. But, in all honesty, Bill has been on 3 now, almost 4-month job interview. And he has just performed, I think above and beyond in, leading the township, maintaining staff morale, which is certainly so important. We have staff that's been working nonstop. They have not stopped.
Right.
And, our public works, our police.
Guys, I'm glad they have today. They have Wednesdays off for the time being, right?
They do. Yeah. We tried to work it so they have a day off,
nice.
To kind of regroup. Yeah, it's stressful for our frontline workers, and, they are doing a stellar job. I go down and see them at, when they're, on the days when they're collecting, and, they got a smile on their face, and they're giving thumbs up. So, we are really fortunate. So we've got Bill, and then we have our Office of Emergency Management, which consists of Chief Flanagan, from the Chief of Police, Officer Chris Gluck, who is, usually Chris is the one who takes on and oversees any sort of, emergency preparedness for the township, whether it's, big storm coming or things like that. And then Marie Carbonara, who is our health inspector. The 4 of them have kind of been, along with Bill, have been the core, making the decisions and certainly, working to be in alignment with what is coming out of the state.
Right.
I think that Governor Wolf has done a really good job, and Dr. Levine, who is the Director of Public Health for the state, in, figuring out how we're going to how we deal with this. This is really unprecedented.
Yeah. There's no playbook for it,
No, there really isn't. And they have done a really good job in making sure that, Pennsylvanians have information, are staying safe. I know that there's been concerns that sometimes some of the things are conflicting.
Mhm.
I've felt that way myself too. How come the fishermen are allowed in the parks when our parks are closed and that kind of thing?
Right.
And that's been difficult to manage. But I think our staff has been evaluating, on a daily basis, what is coming out of the state, how we need to comply, what's happening here on the ground in Radnor, what's best for us, looking and also coordinating with the county. The county has done a fantastic job.
Well, and also because Delaware County, we don't have a health department, right? Aren't we working with out of like Harrisburg? Or I mean, it's hard. We don't have something here. So I think even not even having that resource, we've still responded really well. The township. What decisions are like being made to protect the community? What decisions are you guys making in your commissioners meeting? When is your next meeting? Is you've been doing them all via Zoom, right? How many have you done so far in this shelter in place?
So we've done three, I believe.
Okay.
I believe we've done three. And then certainly, we've done, multiple other meetings, amongst, ourselves and different staff members and whatnot on different issues that are, related to the different, everyone's different wards. But yeah, so I think our next meeting is May 11th, Monday, May 11th. So we've been doing regularly. I don't know how that meeting will be, if that will be a public meeting or if it will be a Zoom meeting again. We'll still continue to evaluate. But the county, they really, so initially we were working with the state because we don't have a health department. That's something that they started to work on, the new group of county counselors. The new county council, they started working on that in January, but that was at the time to be like an 18-month process to initiate our own health department. We were at the mercy of the state, and with the state covering the entire state and all the municipalities that don't have health departments, information was slow coming to us. It was not coming real time. When Chester County, when the relationship with Chester County was formed, Chester County made us aware of the fact that they could handle not only their the demands of, their own being able to test and do contact tracing and things like that, and they said they could help us. It just became a really beneficial partnership. So, yeah, I commend our county council for getting that going and really thank Chester County because that is where we're getting all our information. And if anyone hasn't visited the site, the Chester County Health Department site, there is a whole separate section just for Delaware County. And you can see where Radnor is, falling out amongst, how we look
what our numbers are, right?
Yeah, with regards to the county.
Right. Great. What are some of the things that have been impacted in our township? I mean, obviously, small businesses, restaurants. I mean, something I think has been really fun for us personally is getting to support our small local restaurants and trying different ones that maybe we haven't had in a while is like a treat. And knowing that hopefully when things go back to normal, these small businesses will still be there. I think pretty much everyone's doing curbside delivery. But yeah, who do you think is being impacted the most right now? And how can people help? What can we do?
Well, as you said, we definitely know that our restaurants and our small businesses in Wayne and in Garrett Hill are being impacted. Because they're closed or they're not able to, serve people in the way they're used to. So when you say, you're going and trying new restaurants, that's great. And ordering out, we've been doing that.
Well, and I'm trying to post it on social media too, because I think social media has a lot of power to reach people. Me personally, I have a small business selling wine, and I'm doing a give back to a small group that's taking gift cards or buying food and delivering it to families and seniors. There's actually a lot of families in Radnor Township that are in need, and like the Wayne Food Pantry is doing an amazing job. But yeah.
Yeah, so the Wayne Business Association set up the separate web page, which really talks about all the different businesses in Wayne the services they're offering at this time. So I know, like, I bought a sweater from Out There Outfitters. We've been, so you can buy it online and they ship it to you. It's become my go-to Zoom outfit. So there's that. I know the bookstore.
Main Point Books. She's done an awesome job with marketing, telling their favorites. Yeah, I've bought a couple books from her. It's been great.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, all the restaurants over there. Chris Todd and Deanna Doan from the Wayne Business Association have all been working so hard to promote this. Mm-hmm. So there is a separate website that people can go to and find out the information. Who can you call? Mm-hmm. Curbside pickup, how you access that, what the menus are, because they do have limited menus. I'm disappointed that the quinoa salad is not on Christopher's menu, but I know they'll be back with it.
He's doing drinks to go. Drinks to go.
That's important to note, right?
That is important in these shelter-in-place times, okay?
Exactly. But I know in Garrett Hill, like Antonella's is still open, and I think
Open Bailey's is doing. It's on one night where they're doing a give back to the Radnor. Is it the fire department? They're doing. Yeah. So anyone who can, who's sick of cooking or cleaning up, which I know I am. Although I don't cook, I'll say my husband does most of the cooking. I'll give him that cred. That's great. That's great.
But the cleaning up and all that, definitely order out. Let's help our small businesses, get through this. Mm-hmm. And our restaurants. But, as the board, what we did is we pushed off the filing date for the Act 511 taxes, which is the mercantile tax.
What is the township? To kind of elaborate more, like the board, the township, what are you guys doing to support the business community?
So, one of the things we initially did, so we pushed it off at one, pushed off the filing date for those taxes to one date, and then we went and go ahead and we pushed them back till September. Okay. So hopefully that will give the businesses an opportunity. Yeah, what we don't want is for people to be reporting on what they earned up until the closure, when then they have been so impacted by the closure. We're going to give them more time. Let's push that off so that it's a more realistic view of what they're going to be paying taxes on. It's difficult. We're also talking, I know, certainly the police department and our township staff have been working with the, our Department of Recreation. We've got some things that we're talking about, some things we're planning, a lot of the fun things that happen to bring business into Wayne have been canceled. Wheels of Wayne was canceled. I'm not sure what's happening with the music festival right now. Okay. I haven't heard from Kenny. I know that's not supposed to be till June 14th. Kenny Kearns runs that from 118 North. So, whether that's going to happen or not. So those are things that are definitely also impacting the business community. So what can we do? What can we do to help? And I know there are some fun ideas floating around out there that the township is engaged in, and hopefully there'll be more to report on that in the coming weeks. But we're going to do what we can to support them. And there's been a lot of talk also about, do we do an event, something in the fall? What else do we do? But what we want to do is work with the business community. We don't want to be just suggesting these things to them. Right. We want to work with them. What's going to work best for them? If we go ahead and say, oh, you can have more outdoor dining. Well, is that helpful to them over the summer when maybe a lot of people aren't even around? Right. People are out of town. So what's going to work best for them? And when do we implement that? That's going to work best for them. But I got to give them all kudos. They've all been working so hard and adjusting to this, and anything that our residents can do to support their efforts, are going to be much appreciated.
Well, and we obviously always have the extravaganza at Villanova, and that was obviously canceled. And I think the rec department did a great job of organizing the Easter Bunny on the fire truck. Or actually, that was really more of the Radnor fire department.
That was the fire department. That was the fire department.
Shifted over to them, but that I know put a lot of smiles on kids' faces the day before Easter. They did not make it over my way because we're actually covered by more by the Bryn Mawr Fire Department, which is fine. It was all good. My kids were totally good. Kids are resilient, and I know it touched a lot of kids, but being, in the Ward 4 commissioner, I don't know if you're hearing from your ward residents or everyone, but what are concerns that residents have? What are they expressing to you, emailing? What are you hearing when you do? I mean, you have the best newsletters, and so grateful that you send those out. So thank you.
Thanks. What I, certainly was hearing a lot from people on, before the parks were closed, why aren't you closing the parks? And when the parks
now
were
they're closed, why are they closed?
Why are they closed? Yeah, it's a difficult balancing act. And my answer to people on that is, we have an Office of Emergency Management. We have people that are evaluating this on a daily basis. And, I have to trust them and their recommendations. And what we need is for the community then to listen.
Yeah.
And, so the parks are now open again. I know I was just up, we took a hike the other day down Malin Road and down to Sawmill and up through the Willows. And they have signs, the signage around social distancing.
Yeah. I've seen those. I've been walking the trail since it reopened. And I think people are doing a great job social distancing. Some people wear masks and people are not wearing masks, but the signage is there. The township is making their recommendations. So I appreciate that. I do.
Yeah. So, I heard a lot from people around that. I've heard from a lot of people too around voting. And I know that, they're definitely encouraging people to sign up to get a mail-in ballot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then people I know are going on the site. And I think the site I know I did it and it literally took probably almost 3 weeks before I heard back from the state saying that my mail-in ballot had been approved and I was getting it. I haven't gotten it yet.
Right.
So it's definitely a lengthy process. So if people can get online and do it, I would recommend doing it as soon as possible. I have offered to some residents, there are people who have been having trouble. You can print out and mail in the application. You mail it into the county, to Delaware County. I've said to people, if they don't have access to safe and convenient printing, I'm glad to print those out and leave those for people in their mailboxes.
Great.
I think it's so important to make sure that no one's disenfranchised. It's going to be tough and we need to all work together. I know the League of Women Voters is always a resource as well. So those are some of the main questions that I've been getting from residents.
So kind of moving more into the concerns that residents have expressed, how are they also coping? What feedback have you been getting? I think we're going into week 7. So, it's been tough.
Yeah, I agree. And we are in week 7. I think everyone's feeling kind of the way, I do and you do. We want to be done with this. We want to get out, but I work in healthcare and I see on a daily basis, the impacts, of what's, the disease and what this virus and what it's having on people and the numbers of people. So, and certainly on our healthcare workers,
right.
It's stay at home for our healthcare workers, our people on the front lines. Yeah. But I think people are understanding of that, and most people are taking it in stride. There's definitely the concern for our businesses and people who've lost their income. That it is tough and it is challenging. Yeah. We've had furloughs at my hospital. We've had not layoffs, but furloughs, and people whose times have been cut. It is challenging, but I think people are hanging in there. And I'm going to show you this rock. Look at this cute rock.
Oh yeah, who made that?
I don't know. Someone left this in my mailbox yesterday, or maybe the day before. Isn't it great? It's I don't know, the happiness rock or a hope rock, but it says hope on it. And to me, that's kind of what I'm hearing from people. Sure. And kind of the positive spin that people are trying to put on this. I'll tell you, I've gotten to spend a lot of time with my senior in college who wouldn't be home right now normally. And, it's a little sad for him. I've gotten to spend a lot of time with him.
Wait, hold the rock back up. I want to see it. I'm going to show my daughter. She's kind of Oh, wait, out of your face though, a little. To the
Oh,
left. Okay. I'm gonna show this to her. It's so cute.
isn't
Uh,
it adorable?
yes, I love
This
it.
made
So,
my day yesterday. I'm
well,
telling you,
in
this
my
made my day.
neighborhood, which is your ward, they have one resident. She's actually she's in high school at Agnes Irwin. She volunteered to put red ribbon around your lamppost, around your tree, around your mailbox, as a thank you to our frontline healthcare workers. And they're literally every single house in our neighborhood along Meadowood and Browning has participated, and also along South Ithan. And it's just
Oh,
it's
that's
nice.
amazing. I did
Yeah.
not know that. I'm coming to take a picture for my newsletter. I'm
Well,
gonna
if
come
you
and take a
stop
picture.
by, she lives on Meadowood at 25, I believe. She's got a bin. There's a clear bin that has the ribbon in it, and then there's like a laminated description of what the project is. So,
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
yeah, it's just nice to see. I think, for us in our neighborhood, we have a very close knit, family oriented neighborhood. And Browning is obviously a great loop for people to just go and just to be able to see the community and interact with your neighbors when normally on a regular basis, because we're all probably too busy, wouldn't. I think that's been a really nice silver lining. And I think one plug to give, Lisa, is to talk about the Wayne Food Pantry. I mean, they are in need of donations, right?
Yeah, definitely. I know, I'm not sure when this is going to air, but they're doing a big food drive on May 9th.
Yeah.
That'll be over in the parking lot across from the fire station. Yeah, over this weekend I was working with Representative O'Mara. We connected some people to the food pantry. Yeah, there's people who need that haven't needed it before. I know Jennifer and Robert Sands from Main Lime Pizza have been. I know
They're
they're
doing
awesome,
a lot
right?
of great deliveries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've been doing, helping them out there. So yeah, anything people can do. Hopefully if this airs before May 9th, I know Vince and the Mainline Network are doing some PSAs and whatnot. Chris Flanagan, our chief of police, is working with them. So yeah, if this airs before the 9th and you can come, it's from noon to 12.
Yep.
And donate.
If it doesn't, still donate to the Wayne Food Pantry. My kid's school does a drive, a Giving Fridays drive. I mean, every Friday, we've done it all year. So they're always in need of donations.
And also take monetary donations.
Yes.
At their website, the Wayne United Methodist Church.
Absolutely. And then it really just sort of wrap up. This was such a great time connecting. Is how do you see the township moving forward? I know, with some of our trails and our parks opening, I mean, obviously playgrounds are still closed. I also saw that the township building is very slowly opening, allowing for construction. How are we going to move forward?
So yeah, the township building. So today, Wednesday, the 29th, they've opened up.
A very soft opening.
Yes, a soft opening. And really, we need to get the permitting processes happening again. Construction is supposed to start up again May 1st, according to the governor's, the guidelines that they've set. So people need their permits. They need to be ready to go. So I think, things will slowly come online again. I saw that our police are now, looking for, they're hiring. So they're looking for applicants. That's happening. So the township building, they've set it up so that people can be social distancing, that our staff is, there's not going to be any like face-to-face, but they've set it up. So there's a process. They put a lot of thought and effort into it. They toured me through it yesterday, and I commend them for that. So yeah, we're going to start to bring things online, I think, as we can and as available. And hopefully soon then, as more things open up, what can we do to support the businesses?
Right.
And those plans, I think, will continue to evolve.
Yes. I'm like, what's Tammy cooking up?
What's Tammy cooking up? So, like I said, there's been conversations I've seen, and I don't want to, share anything until we have some things set in stone. But, Commissioner Larkin has been working on some things with Chris Todd from the Wayne Business Association, and certainly Tammy and her team from the Recreation Department, working on some things as well. So we'll see. Hopefully there will be some fun things to do that we can, start to get people together, but keep them apart.
Right.
It's
I
going to
know
be.
it's everything's a little murky, right?
It
It's
is.
still murky, but I think all of us are just trying to band together as Radnor Township residents, and we're grateful to live in this beautiful township that's run by amazing leaders. And so thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the time today to keep.
Can I?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Can I just give one? I just want to give really one last shout out to all of our frontline workers. Certainly our the Radnor Township Fire Company, our Bryn Mawr Fire Company, the Broomall Fire Company, which serves my end of the ward, and certainly our township staff. Bill and Steve Norsini and Steve McNellis and Tammy. And I don't want to leave anybody out. In our finance department, Bob Tate, our staff and all of our public works, staff and our police officers. Everyone has been, working so hard, and we are so fortunate. We really are in Radnor. So I just want everyone hang in there. We all need to hang in there.
Hang in there, keep the faith, right? But yeah, this was great. Thanks for keeping myself and, ward residents up to date on, what's happening, what we're doing during this coronavirus time, praying that we can see an end to this. And until next time, I am Haley Erdlen. And I, again, thank you for tuning in today. And I hope that you'll catch us next time. Thanks.